Hey, my name's JP Price, and I'm doing a video log for the Facebook group for the Scourge of Iron. And what I'm going to be covering is my bench press and the progress that I've made in the last 10 months from my first meet in powerlifting in January until the meet that I just had here earlier in October. About me, I train out of Kansas City, Missouri. I train at Impact Elite Gym and MMA. They really support powerlifting, and my training partner and I, Ben Moore, he's the number 7 ranked super heavyweight in the U.S., and he really pushes the heck out of me. And we also train with a group of guys out of South Kansas City from Stone and Barbell Gym called the Society of Strength, and we're part of their team. And I've gotten coaching from Michael Greeno from that gym, and so I've had a lot of support getting into the sport. 10 months ago, I come from a football background. In college, I don't want to just say that I just came in and started being strong or whatever strong is. So, college, about 7 years ago, I'm 29. 7 years ago, I benched 455 in college. That was my best then. About a year later, I hit 465 as a gym PR when I was 22, 23 years old. And since then, I really haven't bench pressed at all, nothing consistently. I've got a gym here in my garage and started lifting with Ben about 10 months ago and started benching and obviously squatting and deadlifting. But what we're focusing on is the bench. So basically, I came into this in January being able to bench 400 touch and go, and then started training for the sport of powerlifting to do, a real bench press like they want to see it in a competition. So, what we're going to start with here is a couple videos from my first meet. My first meet was just a little mock meet deal down at Stone and Barbell Gym in Kansas City, and I got a chance to listen to the commands and screw it up a few times and get the weight on me and figure it out a little bit while I was there. In the first meet at Stone and Barbell, I believe on the video here I hit 405, and that went up pretty good. I've just kind of always been able to do 405 since high school, and then the second attempt, 425, I believe I got stuffed, and then we'll go right into some footage from my other meets, and I'll kind of explain in between the meet videos what we did between each meet to get the result that we got, and what we thought was important to get there, and then where we're going to go in the future to hopefully continue that progress.
Hold it. Wait. Come on.
Okay, so one thing you'll notice from that first video and the second video there is basically I don't get any leg drive. I don't really have a setup. That's probably something you can't really see there, but I just got under the bar, had a flat back, and got the handoff and had paid no attention to my setup whatsoever. So um, basically, I didn't really start to form any kind of a setup routine or any ritual or try to get any kind of an arch or anything like that until the summertime. And my second meet that you're going to see here in a second was in April. So what I did from basically January from that first meet until April, the second meet, is I ran 1.5 cycles of the cube. But what we did to adjust what I was doing was instead of the board presses, instead of the floor presses, instead of all that as main work, we used that as accessory work. The main work was full range of motion bench press. And when people say, why did I miss a lift or why am I not better at this, usually my first response, and I sound like a jerk probably to them, is that you're not strong enough, and so I needed more volume. I needed more strength. And I needed that strength in an area where I fail on the bench, which, as you see through this video, I put my misses in there because I learned from them. I always missed the same point, which is kind of between a 2 and a 3 board. So why would I train to a 2 or 3 board when I need to go through that range of motion to get better and explode through that weakness? So we put a lot of focus on, more volume, more range of motion, and so here's video from my second and third meet, which were only about a month apart. One of them was at super heavyweight, one of them was at 308. And I believe I've got a make at 440 in the first video, and then a miss in the second video at 455. That was a sticking point for a few months, and then I got 446 in the second meet that was from May.
Come on, here we go. Start. Press.
Squeeze.
Take it. Start. Press. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
So after that meet, I ran a cycle of cube extreme about halfway through until I caught up with my training partners and them coming off of their meet that happened about a month after mine. Continued doing a ton of full range of motion work, working on my setup. Here you see some triples at 405, so went from doing singles at 405 to doing triples. I think that session had probably 5 triples at 405. Doing some self handoffs. This is a unique exercise. You can see the weight swinging there, so it's I think 335 or 345, and then the weight swinging makes it so you have to stay really incredibly tight. You'll see that again later in the video. Here in the garage I made some super dumbbells. I tried to get as much full range of motion dumbbell work in as I could, and in the garage sometimes you just have to make do, but I think I started the whole deal, the whole training cycle, not being able to hit the 150s at all hardly. And then by the end I was doing 3 sets of 10 with the 150s, and I felt like that was something that really helped me. Here you see some of a typical workout where we're doing a lot of volume and doing 330 by 5 by 2, and then we move right into those hanging swinging chains that were just a beast to keep still, and I think that really helped things out a lot. Credit Michael Greeno for coming up with some of this stuff and punishing us with it. And then going right into the heavy dumbbells again, the 150s for 10-8-6. By the end of the cycle, that last set, instead of being 6, just became whatever you could get it for reps, and I think I ended up with 12. Some more dumbbell work here. We were joking around with the gym owner that now that we're both getting a better bench, we need some bigger dumbbells, so maybe we'll see what we can do about that. Here in this next shot, I was going for a rep max at 400 pounds, and got that for 7. So that's by far the most I've ever gotten rep wise of that kind of weight. And then immediately after that, moved into some work with those dangling chains. Can't tell what that is. It looks like about maybe 355 with 80 pounds of swinging chain. Then some more work with the 150s, just repping those out. So then we moved into the part of our training where we started to lower the volume a little bit, but ramp up the weight. And the object of this day was to go in for a heavy double. Ended up doubling 455 here, just touch and go. I made a go at 465. It felt so good, but missed the second rep. Here's where I planned my opener at 445, and that is where I ended up opening at. Here is, let's see here, another shot at 445 a couple weeks later, getting a little bit more explosive, using my legs a little bit better. And then that day I was feeling real good. Went for 475 to try to test my second attempt here. And actually this is 465, I'm sorry. 475 comes a little later. So here's 465. A little bit of a pause in the bottom, not much. And here is 475 and my last heavy day before the meet. I planned this as my third attempt, but just felt like going for it in the gym. I felt really good. Here is meet footage. So the way we did our handoffs I thought was pretty important actually. It seems small, but it was a big deal to me. Once I got my setup down and I was tight and I was prepared, I would tell my handler or partner or whomever was lifting off, I would count 3 and then they would count 2, 1, and while they were counting that, I would get my air. That helped me stay tight. I know it sounds small, but again, it was a huge deal, I think, in being tight and keeping my upper back exactly where it needed to be. My first attempt there was at 443. Felt super easy. Each one of these attempts felt like they got progressively better as I set up better on the bench. The second attempt here is at 463, which is a PR from 446. You can see I'm getting my legs involved. You can see I'm blowing through that sticking point and made some of that progress. Now here is 473. This was probably my cleanest rep of the day. I was told by the judge that I jumped the press command, and they're probably right. I usually side with the judge, but I believe I paused, but I just must have jumped it, and this was called a no lift, but I'll take it. This cycle we're starting with Cube Boss. So far I'm 2 weeks in. I really like the volume that it's laid out. You go from main bench work to some really heavy close grip on my heavy day today to some pretty darn heavy 1 inch off the chest pauses, and it's really starting to rear its ugly head as a volume machine, and but that's what I need. I think that's what makes you strong, and I hope this video in any way can help you or anybody watching it or that you choose to share it with. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask me. You can direct message me on Facebook. Any way you want to try to get a hold of me is fine. Any way that can help, I hope it does. What helped me was having great people around me to help me. I think that's how anybody gets better and gets help, is by 1, experience, and 2, by other people's experiences. So my training partner Ben, can't talk about him enough in good ways. The guys at Stone and Barbell from Society of Strength, Michael Greeno for laying out one of the programs especially, and having guys that are stronger than you around is a big deal in my opinion. So I lift with some monsters. Ben is a monster. Jeff Frank is an absolute monster. If you don't know who either of those guys are, look up Ben Moore and Jeff Frank, and if you have an opportunity to train with people like that, you'll get better. Or else you'll just get left alone on the side of the road. So, I think it's important to have good competition, not just at meets, but also every single day.